いうふうに思います。
And to speak very frankly, I believe that the kind of reporting which is made from foreigners from here in Japan to the outside world is very much dependent on what perspective or what standpoint they are starting on.
日本が危険な、極めて好戦的な状態にあって、そこでナショナリストである安倍さんが登場したという報道がありますけれども、私はそうは思わない。
There is reporting which claims that Japan is in an extremely dangerous position. It is very belligerent at the moment, and Prime Minister Abe has arisen as a nationalist in the basis of such circumstances. However, I do not believe that this is the case.
現実に安倍さんがナショナリスト的な政策をやったということは聞いていません。
I have not heard that Prime Minister Abe has indeed undertaken any policies which are nationalistic.
それよりも日本の立場というのは、今からそうですね、20数年前にブレジンスキー教授が極めて正確に言ってます。
And I believe that the position which Japan is in now was actually very accurately put forward some 20-something years ago by Professor Brzezinski.
彼は何を言ってるかというと、日本はデファクトプロテクトリート・オブ・ザ・ユナイテッド・ステイツって言ってるんです。
And Professor Brzezinski put forward in his thesis that Japan is indeed a de facto protectorate of the United States.
仮に国家は経済と政治と軍事で三本足で三脚で立っているという仮定をいたします。
And he puts forward the thesis that the state is based on the three main pillars of the economy, politics, and the military.
その一本の軍事が全く普通の国ではないのです。普通の国のそれではないのです。
However, in the case of Japan, one of these three pillars, which is the military, is in a situation which is completely not a normal country.
これを間違えるととんでもない記事が飛び出す。
And if a mistake is making here, then it can lead to very mistaken reporting.
申し上げておきますけれども、日本は憲法で軍隊の規定がないんです。
And I would like to emphasize that Japan, according to its constitution, does not have a specification in regards to military.
軍隊の規定を載せろという一般の国々と同じようなことをやろうとすると、軍国主義者だという非難を浴びる。
And if one is to be putting forward the proposal that Japan should indeed obtain or create a military as a normal country in a general way, then you would be labeled as militaristic in this approach.
ブレジンスキーがプロテクトリートという言葉を使ったのは外交防衛問題で、日本はいちいちアメリカの言うことを聞かないと動けないじゃないか、これは普通の国じゃないじゃないかということであります。
And so in Brzezinski's thesis, when he is putting forward that Japan is a protectorate of the United States, this is because Japan is in a situation both in terms of diplomacy and also defense that it cannot move at all without listening first or without speaking first to the United States. This is by no means the situation of a normal country.
ですから皆さんから見ると左がこっちですね、右がこっちですね、真ん中がこっちですね。日本は非常な左から真ん中に軌道修正しようとしている。
And so from your perspective, where the audience is sitting, if we have left on one side and right on the other and center in the middle, then I believe that Japan is in the situation of moving from the extreme left and shifting its direction more towards the center.
一部の新聞は真ん中からエクストリームライトに移りつつあるという分析をしております。非常に遺憾であります。
Some newspapers do analyze that Japan is moving from a center position to an extreme right. However, I believe that this is completely not the case.
1990年から91年までの例の湾岸戦争を皆さんご存知でしょう。
I believe, or many of you, are you familiar with the 1990 to 91 First Gulf War?
日本は何もしなかった。130億ドル出しただけで何にも動かなかった。
So Japan did nothing at this time. It put forward a mere $13 billion towards the war there. However, it did nothing in this.
ブッシュ大統領が率いる国際チーム軍隊ですけれども、この軍隊であっという間にこの戦争は抑えられた。
And the international team or the international military put together by President Bush was able to very much overwhelmingly control this war.
日本は140億ドルのお金を出したけれども、どこからも感謝されませんでした。
And Japan did put forward $14 billion towards this effort. However, it received no gratitude, no thanks from anywhere.
私は当時ワシントンにおりまして、ワシントンポストの一面の広告を見た。 これはクウェートが、国際社会の皆さんへと題して掲げた大きな感謝広告です。
I was at the time based in Washington, and actually Kuwait at the time put forward a full-page advertisement in the Washington Post, giving its thanks to the international community.
非常に丁寧な言葉でお礼が述べられて、以下の30カ国にお礼を申し上げますと言ったけども、以下の30カ国には日本の名前はなかった。
And this was put forward in a very considerate way, expressing its thanks to those countries, some 30 countries who were involved there, and listed these 30 countries. However, Japan's name was not included.
イギリスのエコノミストは、最も私が長年愛読していた、最も権威のある雑誌だと思っていた。
The Economist, a UK-based publication, is something which I had been reading for many years and very much respected as a publication.
この雑誌は、日本は眠っているのか昼寝しているのか、国際情勢が全く分かってないと、こういうことで日本よ立ち上がれと言った。
And this magazine called or had a reporting which said, well, is Japan sleeping? Japan is not understanding the international situation and calling on Japan to stand up.
素晴らしい論説だと思って、これを私は自分の著書に引用いたしました。
And I believe this was an excellent editorial. I actually quoted this in my own writing also.
ところが、去年、私は日本会議に関するエコノミストの論調を見てびっくりした。
However, last year I was very much surprised by the article in The Economist in regards to the Nihon Kaigi or the Japan conference.
日本は戦前の日本に復帰しようとしている。こんなことを書いている。
And this article purported that Japan was trying to return to its pre-war situation.
弱い私がこれにレジスタンスできるのはたった一つ。これを読まないことです。
And there is one way I think that we can resist this, or that I felt that I could resist this, and this is not to read these, such reporting.
この後ですけれども、つまりこの後というのは湾岸戦争が終わった数年後に小沢一郎という政治家がある本を書きました。
And so following the Gulf War, in some years after that, a politician named Mr. Ozawa published a certain book.
政治家として私はこの人を全く信用しない。
As a politician, I have no trust in Mr. Ozawa.
今正反対のことを言ってるから。
And he's actually saying the complete opposite of the situation.
しかし当時彼は日本は普通の国になれと言った。
But at the time he was calling on Japan to become a normal country.
これは私は小沢が言う前から私ども仲間がずっと言ってたことでありますから大賛成であります。
And this is something which I and also my colleagues had been calling for since long before Mr. Ozawa put forward that Japan should become a normal country. This is therefore something which I greatly believe in and agree with.
でこの小沢の言った普通の国、実は私どもが先に言った言葉ですけれども、普通の国実現に着手し、これを次々と手を打ってきたのがたった一人、安倍晋三です。
And so while we had been calling for Japan to become a normal country since long before Mr. Ozawa, I believe that there is only one person who has really concretely been working step by step in order to realize this, and this is Shinzo Abe.
で私はここで安倍の立脚点を皆さんに理解していただきたいと思います。
And so here I believe it's very important that you understand what it is that, or where the foundations of where Mr. Abe is standing come from.
安倍は真ん中の普通の国から、右にシフトしたナショナリストではない。
Mr. Abe is not someone who has started from the center where normal country is and shifting towards the right.
非常にエクストリームレフトから普通の国真ん中に日本の路線を持ってこようと努力した唯一の政治家であります。
He is the only politician who has made efforts in order to bring Japan from the very extreme left to the center as a normal country.
今自衛隊は皆さんご存知の通り、さっき申し上げた通り、憲法に規定がないこの自衛隊、国のバックボーンというのはありますでしょうか。
And so, as you know, and as I briefly mentioned as well, the self-defense forces, of course, are the backbone of Japan. However, there is not stipulations in regards to them within the constitution.
それから天皇陛下は警察と消防の関係の大会にはご出席になるけれども、自衛隊の関連のミーティングにはお出にならない。
And for example, the emperor himself will attend gatherings which are organized by the police force or the ambulance and so on. The fire brigade. However, not in regards to the self-defense force.
軍をコントロールする統帥権が戦前と戦後まるっきり変わっちゃっている。
And so the system in regards for control of the military has completely changed in the post-war period.
こういう事実をわきまえないと、日本は強い国がさらに強い国になろうとしているという誤解が生まれます。
And so without understanding these realities, this is what indeed leads to the misunderstanding that Japan as a strong country is trying to become stronger.
からもう一つ付け加えたいと思います。
I would like to add one further point.
私は国際情勢をずっと分析してきた人間であります。